Cordial greeting, tutoring partners. My name is Camila Arana, and today I'm going to explain you all the things that I could learn in Colombian education course. So the first one that I could learn was the problems that Colombia has in education context. The first one is the family economic situation. So especially in public schools, we can see like as the family doesn't have enough money for give good food and a good materials for the students, and this is the most important problem. In the second one, we can find the English material. So especially in English education, we can find like a lot schools doesn't have a didactics, but don't have in didactics materials because just have books for teach grammatical structure and vocabulary, but forget the didactic materials and audiovisual tools for improving the students or work in the students their listening and speaking skill. So finally, we can find like other big problem is the English teacher level, because sometimes the teacher just have a basic English level, and so this is not enough for the students and for improve their English. So, and the second thing like I could learn was the bilingual programs that Colombia have been trying to has been trying to develop inside Colombia, especially in the public schools, for improve the English of the students. And the first one was a English mandatory subject. This is the first program that we can find, because in this, so just putting the English class as a mandatory subject for the students. And the second one was the CAFE, like Columbia Framework English, so with the British universities, but it doesn't work because just we don't have a good intubation for the state, and the same problems that I told you before. Um, there aren't good materials, English materials, and the good English level from the teachers. And finally, and actually, we are developing the MVP. Is a national bilingual program, but this is so difficult because the basis of the program are not good, and so the basis of the program are the same problems like I mentioned in the first part or in the beginning of this video. So third one, I can learn what about the bilingual. So what is this? How can we get it? And all the things. Like the first one that we have to take into account is not just learn a foreign language is enough for be bilingual. Okay, so we need to have an English culture or inside the culture of that language that we are learning. And finally, we need to practice. But we need to work with all the three aspects together, because it is so necessary for the bilinguals. It's not just say, okay, I know speak French, I know speak English, I know speak Spanish. No, it's just have the culture and thinking in the language, and just speak, okay, in a fluency way. And finally, we can learn, or I can learn about how be an English teacher. Why? Because this is my operation, so I can learn in Colombian education that I need to adopt an English culture for be a good teacher, an excellent teacher for my students in the future. And also, I need to use didactics materials in English for improve the motivations in my students, and also can work in my students all the skills that we need when we are learning a foreign language. And finally, so be so attentive to the motivations and interests that my students could have. So just not for a moment, not as a students, if not as a good persons in the future, a professional persons in the future. Thank you so much for your attention.